All right, we are live. Hello, everyone. Let's see how we're going to do this. Those of you, we are a few minutes late. We had a little technical difficulties, but we are good right now. I'm so happy to have this mother and daughter on this platform today. We have Pastor Tiescha and we have little minister Mimi. I call her Mimi, but her name is Mariah. Yeah, I called you a minister. I did. Yeah, I did. But anyway, you kind of walking in it. You're walking in it a little bit. But we're not doing a pastoral Christian type show today. We're doing more of a natural show of how mothers and daughters bond, how they get from pain to power and from power to victory, how life has dealt them a hand. Life has dealt a hand and you had to play it. And these two women here, and it's amazing how I'm calling Mariah a woman because I knew her since she was a young child and time has moved. I'm very connected to my guests. I'm very happy to have them on the platform. Pastor Tiescha will be coming in shortly. She's doing something in the background. We also have the little baby. Hold up, sweet, sweet baby. She's on as well. So we have three generations. We have the mom, we have the daughter, and we have the daughter's daughter, right? So we want to jump into talking about some things today. We won't be before you long, but I am doing the mother-daughter series here on Bravo with Sheila. Ladies, let's chat. Bravo with Sheila is a platform that encourages, enriches, enlightens, supports, and gives information and empowerment to women. Some men tap in, but this show and this broadcast and this platform is designated to the sisterhood. I said the sisterhood. And so with that in mind, we want to talk about some things today about the mother and daughter bond. The mother and daughter bond. I think Pastor Tiescha just came back. She just jumped in. She is back. She is back. So now we have the mother, the daughter, and the granddaughter. Oh, women are so powerful. And so once again, we welcome you. And this is the Bravo platform, Bravo with Sheila. And as I said a few minutes ago, this topic today, as you can see on the screen, is Mother-Daughter Series, Mother's Daughter Bond. A mother's daughter bond. And I want to talk a little bit to Pastor Tiescha and her daughter. I called your daughter Minister Mariah. Her face went crazy. She's like, I said, yeah, you've been walking in it so long. I don't know why you're shocked, So I said, I'm not going to put her on the spot. We're not flowing from a pastoral minister platform today, although that's a part of your life. We are flowing to empower women and families, women who have daughters, because I know that having daughters sometimes, especially if you're a single parent, and even if you have a full household with a father, there's always and can be conflict and growing pains. And when life happens, mothers and daughters bond, but sometimes it takes a road to get to that place of bonding, right? I think it's very important to speak to women who have daughters, who have wonderful relationships, women who have weathered certain storms, weathered coming out of divorce, being a single parent, how it affects the children, how it affects the daughters. And so I know that Pastor Tiescha, you do have sons, right? And so we know that your children, but today we're talking about the mother-daughter bond. And the reason I invited you and Mariah to come, I'm forgetting not to call her Mimi, but if I do call her Mimi, you guys, it's because she's my bonus granddaughter, so I get a pass. Anywho, I wanted to talk about you and your life. I want you to talk to the women to share. You are in such a healthy, awesome place. I'm so proud of you. We could stay on here talking about our relationship for a long time, but let's give the people some nuggets. Let's give them the jewels that we have found through relationship. Now, I want you to tell the viewers where you live and where you were raised, a little bit about your background, And let's start there, from the foundation of where you were born and where you were raised, the type of climate that was around you, your home, growing up with your mom, your dad, anything traumatic or dramatic happen in your home. Why don't you do that for the people?
Okay. Well, please excuse my granddaughter. Well, I grew up in a little town called Washington, North
Stay
Carolina.
right there. You're better on the camera. Come up, come up,
Okay, come up.
come up.
Okay.
Yeah, because your lighting is not good. Stay right there when you're talking. Don't
Okay.
lean back. Don't lean back. Come forward to the camera.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So I grew up in a little town called Washington, North Carolina.
Hmm.
I had my mother and my father in my life early on until my father passed away at the age of 9.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that was very traumatic to me.
How did
Um,
that affect you as a young girl, though? Let's talk
oh,
briefly. How did that alter your mindset and your emotions?
wow, that really affected me tremendously. It was like a normal family. We had a normal family, normal life.
Hmm.
It was the best thing that I knew of, as
Yeah.
a 9-year old until, that day came and everything changed. Um,
Hmm.
Although, I was 9 years old, I can remember it very vividly.
Wow.
I remember being, my daddy's little girl.
Okay.
He was my world. I remember that.
Right.
So after that day, everything just kind of went topsy turvy.
Yeah, I
Life
would
was no longer
imagine.
the same for me.
I would
So
imagine that.
yeah,
I
it
would
was
imagine that.
it was tough.
Especially because you had a bond with your dad. And
Right,
a lot of women I've found out in my lifetime don't get the privilege of saying I was a daddy's little girl, right?
right.
We all hoped for that or whatever, but I found across the board, I found a lot of women who can't say that, right? A lot of them have different situations where the dad left the home for whatever reason, passed whatever, and it affected them to the point that as they began to grow up as an adult, they found out later they had daddy issues. Yeah.
Hmm.
So keep telling us about that. So after your father passed away, it was you, your mom, and your sister, or yeah.
It was me, my mom, my sister Lisa, which is the baby girl. I had a baby brother. I have a baby brother named Larry, and
Hmm.
then my older brother Mike. I want to say he was like 12 at the time.
Okay.
So anyway, life was, like I said, it was difficult for me at that time, but
Mhm.
because my mom was there and doing her best. She was a stay-at-home mom.
Okay.
I had my mother's family, my daddy's family too, that kind of came close and rallied. Um, I got through those younger years of being without him.
Okay.
However,
However,
yeah, when my teenage years began to come on me, um, that's when it really seemed like everything just kind of went crazy.
okay.
Um, I started, going into the puberty and all of that and experiencing the emotions and, just warning my father. And I never understood why God took my dad, because I had a
Got it.
relationship with God early, as a child. So I knew to ask him, and that was the question in my mind: God, why my daddy? So that really affected me, as I went into my teens.
Yeah.
So just not having him, around was really so
Okay.
traumatic for me.
I could imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing all the other young girls with their dads and
Yeah.
when it came father daughter dance time and
Right. Right.
all of that stuff, it was just bad for me. It was so bad.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
hurt that I couldn't understand. I couldn't shake.
You didn't know where to put
I
it.
didn't know where to
You
put
just
it.
didn't know how to navigate through it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So that was pretty much like the season of your young years, and eventually you moved toward, I mean, school was okay. You went to school, you finished school, you,
Yes.
yeah. So what year, I mean, or what time did you get married?
Well, I got married at the tender age of 19.
The tender age of 19, girl, the tender age. Yes, ma'am. The
Yeah.
tender age. That is a tender age. It's very young.
Right.
You might not have learned a lot because jumping into being married, was that because you had a child or was having a child?
I was, yes.
Okay.
And yeah, I think I was just looking for love.
That goes back to what we were
No,
talking
wrong
about.
places.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good right there. See, it's
Hmm.
so many women right here. And I know that you can be transparent now because you're healed,
Right.
right? And
Right.
and by you sharing this, I always think that being transparent, people know when you're authentic. And you are a pastor. And so a pastor has to have a mercy gift. A
Hmm.
pastor has to understand that she might sometimes be a bridge, meaning people gonna walk over you,
Right.
right? And
Right.
you got to be built up for that. And the fact that you have gone through that and that you could speak to the heart of women who have had children at a young age, who have had daddy issues, who have been looking for love, right? And
Right.
that happens because we're emotional beings, women are. And so that daddy thing probably connected you prematurely to someone who either was nice to you, took care of you, said the right thing in your ear, because you know us women, or that talk.
Right.
Right? You get connected to it because we like compliments. That's how God wired us. And so you got married at the age of 19. You had your daughter. And as your daughter sitting next to you, is she the oldest?
She's the oldest. She's
She's
my
the
firstborn.
she's your
Hmm.
firstborn. So you
Hmm.
were a teenage mom. 19 is still teen,
Right.
right? A
Right.
teenage mom. And how was that for you? Was that traumatic on top of the traumatic? I mean, I know you love, one thing I do know about you, how you love children. But
Mhm.
at that age, I mean, purpose connected with you later on in terms of understanding. So you were pregnant. I'm sure there was a lot of chatter going on about you. You had to walk through a little persecution because
Right.
you were in the church. Uh-oh, see, we can't park there. And listen, all of you out there, here's a disclaimer. I might slip up and call her daughter. Okay. Like I said about Mimi, because she is my daughter. She is my bonus spiritual. It's like I gave birth to her. So let me keep it moving. I just had to put that in there because I might say daughter and they might be like, well, wait a minute, what is she talking about? So we gave them our relationship. And that is why I could have you on the platform because I've been with you and around you since Mimi was a little girl.
Right.
I've watched the growth. I've watched the traumatic stuff in your lives. I've watched y'all go walk through hell together. I watched Mimi stay with you, under you, for you, and with you as a young girl. She stepped up to the plate for her mommy. You
Right.
don't, she really, really did. I mean,
You
and
did.
the bond that you guys have is a strong bond. And that's why I said this topic is a mother and a daughter bond because it's important to have a bond. And so you walked through persecution, you went through, and that must have been an emotional roller coaster
Oh,
as well.
the worst.
The worst.
Yeah. And it was the worst because it came from people that were my village, you know?
Mm. Pull up a little bit to the camera because you set back. Yep. If you could stay right there, you're
Okay.
perfect and for what we have to work with. Go ahead.
Okay. So it came from the people.
Perfect.
Okay. Right. Adjusted the screen.
Oh,
Um,
good.
it came from some of the people that, like I said, were my village that I had known all of my life. You know, grew up within the church all of my life. I thought, that loved me as a kid. You know, you do think everyone loves you. So, they were a part of my safe haven. I thought, and they
Right.
were, but um, when
So
things
they
began
judged you.
yeah, yeah, they did. They did, and that was very, very hurtful to me. Because this village and this safe haven that I thought, loved me and cared for me, it felt like they had come against me. And it wasn't everyone, but as a body, yeah, it was very, very traumatic.
Yeah. Hello, My Vivid Life. We just got someone that tuned in. Kelly from My Vivid Life, this special, special woman. When you get a chance, go to her channel and subscribe to My Vivid Life, right? I'm going to put it in the
Okay.
chat. Thanks for being here, Cal. Go ahead, Tiescha.
Yeah. So
So the persecution and the judgment was a lot for you to carry as a 19-year-old girl. The people you thought was going to truly step up and support you, or just even though they may not like it, they would show the love they say they have as a Christian, because I can park there, right? And
mhm, mhm,
this is not a blanket statement about believers, but listen, it is what it is, right?
right,
And
right,
they failed you as a young girl in the church at 19, and you were pregnant, right? They
right,
failed you. They didn't know how you got to this place emotionally. They didn't know what caused you to lean on this particular gentleman. They
right.
just saw the act of what they said and you did. And so how did you manage? You had your little girl, Mimi, show your face so that people could see you. Just lean on your mother's shoulder a little bit, and there she is. And there she is. That's Mariah. You could stay there if you want to. That's a normal spot for y'all. You guys do that all the time. So what happened after that? You had your baby and you finished school.
Yes. I had already finished school like a year before I had her.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then you
So
were married. You were married at this point.
I was
Now, were
married
you
before she was
forced to get
born.
married? Let me ask you. Was it maybe forced is not? I want to know, is that something you felt you needed to do because you felt guilty? Or would guilt play a part of it? Or you really thought, or you felt you loved him? What motivated you? Because I know the church can be in your ear and say, oh, you're going to be married now, because if this man, you lay down with this man, you got to marry him. And again, I believe, and I know for a fact that many women have been in this position in their life that are in the church and sometimes not in the church, and what we call back in the day a shotgun wedding, where
Mhm.
the person was kind of subliminally threatened or made to feel like they was less than, and made them feel this is the right thing to do. This is what you
Mhm.
have to do. And down the road, they found out this is not my mate.
Right.
This is not the person I'm supposed to live the rest of my life with. Because, and I want to know as a pastor, do you agree with this? That many things, now we know that there are different guidelines. I don't want to say guidelines, but principles, I'll say, in the church when it comes to marriage. Now, in the church, the believers and the mechanism of the church says, well, oh, she's dating. Oh, that's such and such. Oh, yeah, they're a cute couple. When's the wedding?
Right.
At the wedding, like, wait a minute now. Just because you're dating, because the mindset of the church is if you're dating and you're a believer, then you're dating to marry.
Get married.
Well, if you're a believer or not a believer, we as women want to date to marry, period.
Right.
The church, because of it being the spiritual mechanism, they is so many marriages that fail because the pressure of the church's principles say, oh, they dating, and you may like the guy for, but you can't just have, my question is, and this is what I believe,
Mhm.
you got to have more in common with a gentleman or a young guy other than church. What else
True.
do you like? Do you like
Right.
roller skate? Do you like walking in the park? So we married because we believers? A lot of marriages fail. Speak to that.
Right. Yeah, and that's true. I had, I guess, a couple of reasons for getting married.
Okay.
I did believe that, I did feel, because at that age, do you really, really, really know what love is? I mean, maybe some do, some don't.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, I can't really tell you if I really knew,
I get it.
really, what real love was.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like I did. And I know eventually, if I didn't at that time, I knew eventually I did grow to love him because that's just
Amen.
kind of who I am.
Okay.
Um, And secondly, yes, I did get married because that was, how I was taught. I felt like um, I should, marry him because I do, have his child and that kind of thing and
Yeah.
all of that. But anyway, now I would say that I wouldn't just push a young woman, into a marriage. And I've told several people,
Yeah.
you don't have to get married just because, you fail,
Because he's a believer and I'm a believer. That's not
Right,
enough. Let me bring
right.
Mimi in. Mimi, I
Okay.
mean Mimi, you're old enough to kind of now you understand what we're talking about. What is your view, your take on what we're talking about right now as a young girl? As a young girl in terms of dating, marriage, in the church, what do you feel about? Because you've seen a lot.
I have. I think it's very important, first and foremost, to seek God in whatever you do, whether it's dating, about to get married, getting married,
Mhm.
whatever you want to call it. Um, I mean, I believe it's really important to pray about who you're dating because you don't want to get tangled up with the wrong person.
Mhm.
You don't want to have to go through things that you shouldn't have to go through just
Mhm.
because
Yeah.
you're dating someone.
Yeah. That's good. That's true. That's true. I mean, just for you to have that foundation and that because you have a little girl, right? And you're old enough now because you've been through your own stuff as a
Right.
young girl, right? So, I always say mistakes are what we do, they're not who we are, right?
Right.
Because let people would try to label you, right? Because of something that happened. One mistake does not identify who you are. And then
Right.
again, is it a mistake? How is a child a mistake? It may
Hmm.
not have come the way you had planned it, but a
Right.
baby, a new life, how could we call that a mistake? No
Hmm.
way. That's why you have to, as you say, know God for yourself, pray about it, and turn the voices off. You know how to turn them voices off. Don't let people get in your head because
Hmm.
people they get turn the voices off. They get in your head, and then you start formulating all kind of stuff in your head. Because up here is the crazy playground, right? And we have to know who we are. So let's talk about the bond. So you got married, and let's fast forward. How long? Because I know because you're my daughter. How long was it before you found out or realized the marriage? Because I knew your husband and I know him, and he got a sweet spirit, always had a sweet spirit, sweet soul, but
Hmm.
everybody got issues.
Right.
Every person walking on this earth got a issue or issues,
Hmm.
right? And that's why it's
Right.
so important to deal with yourself, right? And
Right.
do the work. You got to do the work. And so,
Right.
so we're not here to put him down or anything like that, but he is a part of you and he is Mariah's dad. And
Right.
so fast forward, I know that there was a time where there was a breach and you had to walk away from the marriage without exposing him. Just touch on
Mhm.
that a little bit and tell the viewers how that affected you and now your family unit. Because you started this conversation talking about when your dad died, the
Mhm.
whole family unit switched.
Right.
Brand new day. Talk about that.
Wow. Well, um, even though life became, dysfunctional early,
Hmm.
I'll say we coped. We got through the situations that we found ourselves in.
Hmm.
Time and time again, we got through it until I guess year 14, maybe.
Okay, 14 years. So
Right when I
from
decided.
14 years later.
Right.
Wow.
Until I
Okay.
decided that I was tired of the things, we were going through and having to experience. Um, I decided that I didn't want my daughter to grow up, thinking that this was how life was supposed to be.
Okay.
With the one she loved and
Right.
with the one that was supposed to love her.
Right.
And I didn't want my son to think that this was how he was supposed to,
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. So I made a decision at that point because, I went through the roller coaster. I went through the days when I'm like, you know what, I'm done and I can't do this. But at the same time, that soul tie,
Mm-hmm.
in my heart.
Yeah.
My husband, I love my husband,
Yeah.
and being taught by the church, you're supposed to stay with your husband.
Oh, yes.
All of that. I went through all of that.
I could imagine.
Yes. So, like I said, when I finally came to the end of my rope and I knew that I had to do something, I just had to. And it was a very severe, time. So when I made that decision, I stuck to it. It wasn't easy at all. It
Yeah.
wasn't easy at all.
Yeah.
And it was very traumatic. But I thank God at that point in time you were still in the city and you were in my life. Well, regardless of you, if you were in the city or weren't in the city, you were
I
still
was
in my
with
life.
you.
Yes, but you were like right there with me. So
I was in the trenches with you.
yes, praying for me, counseling, giving me the mother-daughter talks, the sweet ones, and then the what am I trying to say? The tough ones to shake me back into reality, and let me know, hey, I mean,
You could do this.
you can do it.
You
Yeah.
can do
So
this. That's all I kept saying is you can do this.
yeah.
He was like, no, I can. I said, no, yes, you can. You said, but I
Yeah.
can. I said, yes, you can. Yeah, one step at a time. I remember that day. I remember those words. I remember going through days with you, Mimi. So as this affected you, it affected your mom. It affected you because you love your dad and you love your mom.
Right.
So at times, did you feel like you were in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah. How could you not? Right.
Right.
Yeah, you loved your dad and you still love your dad. But I'm saying at that time it was difficult. And that was another burden she carried because she didn't want to cause any breach with you and your dad. As
Right.
in back then you were younger and it was certain things you didn't understand. We had our little talks and it was like, I said, she's not going to understand this right now. Right. She's just not going to understand it. But now look at her sitting next to you, the mother-daughter bond. The bond. How did Mimi play a big role in your life at that time? Because you were kind of off in your emotions, in your mindset. And I know you don't mind me saying that because we're being a little transparent. Your grounding, your footing was off. You were just a wreck because this was something new. This was you had never stepped out on your own doing things. It's always been a type of little control around you, right? So how did Mimi play a part in your life? How did she step up, and how was you amazed at your daughter at that age? What did she do for you?
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
This,
I got to report. Go ahead.
I was going to say this kid sitting next to me has been an amazing child. I tell her that all the time. She's not perfect, but she has really been my rock.
Yeah.
When she wasn't supposed to be, she was there and she was my inspiration. She was my motivation. She's just always been that gift from God that I needed, in those down times.
Yes.
I mean, I could look at her, and my son for that matter, and receive motivation to keep going. You know what I'm saying? Because I had them, and because they were such great kids, that I knew they loved me if nobody else did.
And she have a strength in her. Mimi that girl, because she's so quiet and always been this little, she's always been a good girl and quiet, shy like, but the power that's in her at a young age. She was doing things. I was like, okay, like You wouldn't even know that's in her because she was so laid back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's just from her genes.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's always been a strong kid.
Lean up a little bit into the camera.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yes. Yeah.
She's always been very strong.
Yeah.
I remember looking at her and just saying like, wow, she's stronger than I've ever been. Even as a kid, she was just. I guess God knew she had to be that way, with me as her mom.
Right.
Especially going through some of the things that I've gone through. She laughing at me, but it's true.
Yeah, because she used to say things to you to like smack you into reality. I mean, without disrespecting you. I know she had to shake you up a bit from time to time because of your temperament, because you have the same quiet type temperament. But Mariah, it has a no nonsense type of vein in her that you don't have. And that shows the difference.
Now.
You have it, yeah, but life caused you as you live, we attain different strengths from things we've gone through, right? When we walk through something, you can't come through the situation broke down and beat up. You have to come through that situation stronger. You got to come out of it with something that you didn't have when you went in it. And when you were in that valley, you were in that valley. But God placed a daughter in your life. When she stepped up, it was amazing. It was amazing to watch it. It was amazing. She became your rock. Where you dropped the ball, she picked it up. Where you couldn't function, she picked it up. That strength that's in her is amazing. Y'all have such a unique bond. So Mariah, lean a little bit on your mom's shoulder because I can't see your cute face. So Mariah, now there you go. Y'all, that's your normal spot anyway. So now that this transition of life has happened and you're a young girl now, I mean, you have a young child, you're a young mother. Do you see how life has cultivated your mom into this great woman who is now a pastor?
Yes, definitely. And I'm super proud of her. I'm so proud of her growth.
Yeah.
And just overcoming everything that she's been through. So.
Yeah, she is an overcomer. She is. She's definitely an overcomer. And so you would say that you guys have a strong bond, right? I mean, you guys have a serious bond. And what's so amazing, I used to talk to her and say things like, we got to make sure Mimi don't be angry. Remember, we used to have those conversations. We have to make sure she doesn't be angry at you. And he was like, I know. I said, she's a young girl. I know. So we actually had conversations how to segue through some of these life. You know how I say how you step on potholes and you step on spiritual landmines. Yeah. Because I step on them all the time, right? And then a landmine could explode your life into pieces. And if you don't have the right tribe or the right, like what happened when you were younger, you thought they were your village and tribe, and maybe a few are standing, but then there were so many that fell off. People are in your boat when the sun shine, you rowing the boat in the river, everybody chatting, eating cheese and crackers, and you rowing, and all of a sudden lightning comes, a storm is coming, everybody just jump ship. You may have one or two people there, because when the sun moves, the shade comes and people leave you. That causes a certain growth on the inside. So here we are now. You're single. You're taking care of your children. You working. You're on your grind. Mimi's a teenager. She always knew what she wanted to do. She was always into beauty. Mariah, what is it right now in your life that I know that you're in cosmetic? You always would get your little things. You dressed. You always had your own creative style as a young girl. That was your purpose screaming to come out, because you always did things like that. Where are you now with that?
Right now, I'm just perfecting my craft.
You're doing what? I didn't hear you.
I'm perfecting my craft. I was in cosmetology school. I'm taking a break at the moment, but I'm gonna jump back into it soon. And when I get back in, I only have about 3 months left, and then I can take the state board to get my license, my
Okay.
cosmetology license.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at the moment.
Awesome. Awesome. You also have a creative gift of singing.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I'm putting you on the spot. You have a creative gift. How could I, I have to include these things. And when you were younger, you sing your butt off, girl. You would stand up and just, the anointing would be on your life and your voice. You were shy, but you still would, because you love God, you would sing, you would do. Now that you're an adult, that part of you is screaming to come out too. So we can't wait. We got to cultivate that. As we cultivate the cosmetology, we have to do, because God gave you more than one gift. Some people just get one shot, one thing, and wish they could sing. Some people wish they knew how to do hair or makeup. And some people, some young girls your age, don't know what they want to do because they haven't caught on to that thing. Everybody is not born with knowing what they want to be. People like myself, a creative person, yourself, your mom, we know that she loves children. She could have 100 daycares across the world and be happy. She loves little babies. She's a singer. She's a worshiper. We know all this. There are so many women out there, young girls and women, who still have not tapped into the very thing that gives them joy. They don't even know where their passion lies, right? So I say to you, don't let your gift go to sleep. Don't let it become dormant. It's turned on, it's alive, one step at a time with it, and then you'll see things start to manifest, because God then will see you're moving by faith, right? Because faith connects. And when it connects, that's when he releases, right? So, yeah, I see you doing the music and the car. I can't wait for you to hurry up and get your things, because I have to fly you around so you can take care of me. Right, put you in the right circle behind the scene in different concerts and different places where you make that, how you said, we get that bag.
Yeah, it's to be bad.
Get to it. Okay, so now I'm so happy that we're getting to this part to talk about you being married again. You being married again. You thought it would never happen. Don't listen. The conversations we've had over the years, you just believed it never was going to happen again. Where is he at? And see, because you a Southern girl. Y'all Southerners, right? Y'all Southern. You Southern, Mariah Southern. And I live down there with you guys.
Like that.
No, you don't talk like that. I'm talking like that.
I do.
7 years I was down there with you guys, and I used to always mess with you and repeat what you say. It was an ongoing joke with you and I. And every now, what you say, Mimi?
Oh, I'm just laughing because
and she knows I used to pick on her because she country, right? And you guys was born and raised in the country. Now, half my family talk like you guys now, the ones that are in North Carolina and Charlotte, all Linda's grandkids, all of them, they all got a heavy Southern act because they were raised in the South. But the city girl that I am, going down there to live in the North Carolina parts with you. And Southerners are raised different from city girls, city people, and it's a good thing because you guys have a lot of different principles about family and how things are supposed to be, and you have a guideline. Not saying that doesn't happen up north, but up north is so much going on that distracts us. It's just too much to choose from, too much to do, too much to lose your focus. It's just a different upbringing, right? And so for you, marriage is very important. You got to find a husband. You got to get you a husband. And so I was like, he's coming. He's still in the oven. You can't take him out till he's done, because we can get men out of the oven real quick. We've been there, done that, and we wore the T-shirt for it. Take them out the oven because we lonely, or we need somebody, or we want somebody, or they said something nice to us or whatever. But God has sent you a wonderful man that you
Yes.
have married. Your name has changed.
Yes, it has.
Touch on that a little bit. You don't have to get deep. You just say whatever you want to say.
Well, I do thank God for my husband. He is a wonderful, wonderful man. Um, he is my knight in shining armor, as they say. Um, he's definitely been an addition. He's been a real blessing to my life, not only my life, but the lives of my children and my grandbaby. She adores him.
Okay, awesome.
Like adores him, and he adores her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. So
Mhm.
the bond, sometimes when men who aren't our children's father, when they come in, we call that a blended family. And sometimes men don't know how to relate to children or that had no male in the house. Like you've been the one to say and do everything. And
Mhm.
a lot of times because of a man's ego or because of how a man has been culturally raised, they conflict with the household out the gate because they try to prove themselves and they try to, and sometimes a jealousy will appear. I thank God that he embraces your family and as an addition and not trying to switch things up. And
Right.
so, Mariah, how do you feel about your bonus dad?
Um, how do I feel?
How do you
Um,
feel?
I'm happy.
Good.
I'm
That's
happy. I'm happy for my mom, and he's a great, 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 great man. He
mm-hmm.
made sure she's taken care of, so I have nothing bad to say.
And that's a blessing.
Yeah, it took
Yes.
her a minute to get to this place. I think
Well,
she
I
had
was going to
to
ask you.
get
I
to.
was getting ready to say, let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Did it just happen? Because remember the bond that you and your mom have. I know for me or anybody, somebody come in and they trying to squeeze in and be a part of the group. I'm like, no, we don't need no more people. You know, like, no, this is my space. Like, where you come from? No. She been on the phone like 4 hours with him. No, what's going on? You know, that type of thing. So I was gonna say, can we just get a little bit real with that? When it didn't get to the point that it is now, what was your emotion?
At first I was a little skeptical. I was um well, let's say this. I At first I wasn't as happy as what I am now because I was scared for her.
Okay.
I didn't really know what to expect for her, especially being that she's gone through so much already. I was really hoping that this was the
This
one,
was
this
it.
is gonna be it, and that she was gonna be happy. And it ended up being that way. So I was like, okay, thank you, God. We don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah,
That's it. She's
that's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That again shows your growth, your maturity,
Mhm.
and you were selfless and allowed your mom to be happy. Because
Right,
sometimes it's difficult because you knew some daughters will cause their mother to choose
right,
and put her in awkward situations to where it could breach your relationship because you have the power to do that because you know the bond that you have,
right.
right? But it didn't go that way. Yes, again, we have such quality in you, Mariah. You're older than your years. We always said you were old, got an old soul. Yeah.
Mhm.
So okay, so now you're a pastor, and now you and your daughter are in ministry together. This
Yeah.
is such a success, a beautiful story because listen, as women, we wear a trillion hats, and I'm exaggerating, but that's what it feels like sometimes.
Yes.
In one day, right? Mother, cook, cleaner, worker, we can go on and on.
That's the list
Encourager.
goes on.
Yeah, the list can go on and on. Even at
Mhm.
Mariah's age, she wear a bunch of hats that she
Mhm.
never wore before,
Right.
right? And so to juggle them and to still stay in touch with Tiescha, the woman, and Mariah, the young woman, be mindful. Don't let all the things cause you as a woman to be buried and then you don't know where she is, because life does that. The things we have to do, the things we have to proceed, put so much pressure on us that we get lost in the sauce sometimes. Like, and you be like, where is that woman? Where's she at? I ain't seen her in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So I really give you a bravo. You know, matter of fact, we're going to take that right hand and that left hand and we're going to give ourselves a bravo right now. Let's do it. There you go. Touch your heart, your mind, your soul, whatever you need to. There you go, girl. You touch it. That's right. You you got to give yourself a bravo. No question about it.
Yes.
And so, you know, we're going to talk now about, all right, I got to give you some bravo. There you go. Bravo to both of you. So listen, let's talk this. Let's end this conversation with talking about where you are now in your life. What's ahead for you? First of all, I want you right now to tell, as a matter of fact, let me put it in the chat. What is the name of your ministry?
The name of our ministry is Rivers of Life International Ministries.
I don't have moderators yet, so I got to do my own stuff.
It's okay.
I got to get moderators. Rivers of Life
International Ministries.
International Ministries. Definitely have to put that out there. I just put that in the chat. There it is. What else would you like the viewers to know? Mariah, are you doing anything for, do you have a business name for your cosmetic line? Will you be making makeup and eyeshadow? Are you putting out a whole line when you finish school?
Yes, at some point it's coming, so stay tuned.
Very near future.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Don't let it be too long.
Oh, the name of it is Bougie You.
Bougie You. Let me see how you. Is that a website, or is that a website that's up already, or is that the name of your brand?
It's the name of the brand. I don't have a website just yet. I'm working.
Let me put it in the chat so people can look out for it. Bougie. Tell me how you spelling that. B.
It's BOUGIE and a capital U.
Oh, cute. I'm gonna put Mariah's cosmetic line. Stay tuned, right? I spelled your name wrong. MIRIAHS. That is right.
MAR.
I keep putting an I in your name. MARI. See, I need a moderator.
It's okay. She's coming. He or she.
Mariah's hold on. Cosmetic.
It'll be hair, nails, and cosmetics.
Oh, let me put hair, nails in. I like that better. Hair, nails, and cosmetics. And it's BOUGIE GIE with a capital U.
Yes.
Coming soon. So that'll stay in the chat. So people will stay tuned for that. There we go. All right. So your church is where?
The church is located in Greenville, North Carolina.
Greenville, North Carolina. Okay. All right. And your services are?
Right now we are having Bible study, but we call it Bible Encounter.
Okay.
Every Monday night at 7:30.
In person or online?
It's on Zoom.
On Zoom. Okay.
On Zoom. On Thursday nights, we have intercessory prayer at 8:30 in the evening.
Okay.
And that is on Zoom as well.
Okay.
Our services for Sundays are on first and third Sunday, being that we are traveling right now.
Okay.
At 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
And the address is 1005
Hold
B.
on. 1005 B is a boy.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
Hamilton Street.
Hamilton Street, that's Greenville.
That's Greenville. 27858.
27. I should know that. I should know that zip code.
Mhm.
And that's the church name again is
Rivers of Life.
Rivers. Yep. International.
Yes.
But this will stay there. People might come by and see you. Um, it might be in the area. You know,
Oh,
this will be on YouTube forever. So someone can come and read the chat and say, oh, okay, you know, I'm going to Greenville. Maybe I'll stop by. I think that this chat was empowering. I would like to ask you for closing words. And Mariah, what would you say to women and daughter, the mother daughter, I should say, relationship? Tell us in whatever amount of time you need to take about how important you think it is, or some advice or empowerment.
You said Mariah or myself?
You can start.
Okay. I believe the mother-daughter relationship is so important.
Both of you lean up, being we closing. I need a better shot of you.
Okay.
I'm gonna get you a ring light and send it to you. Go ahead.
We actually have one of those, but anyway, I do believe that the mother-daughter relationship is very important. Um, Looking back over, the last maybe 20 years, I don't know. I'm saying me going through the things that I've gone through, I don't know if I could have gone through as successful as I have
Hmm.
without my daughter.
Yeah.
That's how close, we are, and how special the bond is to me. So I don't take it lightly that we have this bond, because I know a lot of people don't have this bond, but I think it's important, because anytime you have, the love of your child, especially a daughter, the support, it just means everything, and it helps you to be able to, move from point A to point B, from pain
Right.
to power, as mom would say, and from power to victory. So
Yes.
that's a wonderful thing.
Yes. Mimi, what's your closing remarks?
I just want to say to everyone that, well, whether daughter, son, whoever, um, if you have your mother
Hold
and
on. Hold on.
okay,
There's an ambulance passing.
okay.
1 second. 1 second. Because I don't want that to drown you out. Okay. Say it again.
So I would say, whether you're a son, daughter, whoever, if you have your mother in your life, be grateful. Don't take it for granted. Don't take it lightly. Um, and just pour out as much love as you can, because you only get one mother, you only get one father. So that's all I'm gonna say.
That's good. That's good. You really faded back into the dark, both of you. And there you are. So, yeah. So I thank you so much for being here, sharing your life with me
Thank
and the viewers. People will come later on and see this. This will be up forever. And so it doesn't matter who's on now, the fact that it's already done. We had the conversation, it'll be there forever. And I think this mother daughter series is important to women, whether the relationship is sweet and solid like yours or going through a tumultuous time. Either way, it's a beautiful thing, because at the end of the road, there will be victory. At the end of the road, you'll see how God can change anything and fix anything, as long as you lift it up in prayer and just trust that there are brighter days ahead. And so thank you for being so transparent, Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being my. Sometimes I don't even like to put spiritual daughter in front of you when I speak of you, which you already know, because your life and my life has bonded as if I gave birth to you. I've always said that to you.
Mm-hmm.
But so when I confuse people, they say, "Oh, I didn't know you had when you have her." So I have to sometimes say, "No, she's my spiritual daughter. She was my armor bearer. She was my nurse. She was everything, and she is everything to me." So I really, 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 I'm so honored that God placed me in you guys' life. It's a forever thing, and I know that there's great things ahead for you. I know that you're traveling this week. Traveling mercies. God bless you.
Thank
And maybe later on in 2022, you can come back and give us an update on your life and what you're doing. And definitely, I'm going to do a platform for Mariah's age because Amaya wants to do
you.
something. Yeah.
Hi.
Yes, Amaya wants to do something and have a platform for their age. So I'm
Cool.
kind of training her. I think Mariah, I think Mimi, I think she could do this well, but she always gets in her head and think that, oh, no, she's not shy. She used to be. You got to say, I used to be shy,
Mhm.
right? Because you have something to share and people need your voice. People
Right.
need your courage. People need your push. So many young girls need you. So Amaya, I got her a spot on my radio station. Her name of her broadcast every Saturday afternoon is called Nostalgia. So she
Oh.
plays her music and talking, and you may want to pray about it, Mariah. You can get an hour on where you're behind the camera, nobody can see you. You're just talking to the people, playing music. Listen, there's so much you could be doing while you're waiting to do the other things you're waiting to do,
Mhm.
right? You don't need a dead space. You need to fill up space because you can't get time back. So
Right.
pray about that. Reach out to me. So once again, guys, stay right there. We're going to close the broadcast. Don't sign off. I'm signing off now with the people. Those of you, thank you for tuning in to Bravo with Sheila. Remember, when nothing changes, nothing changes. And remember that you must always give yourself a bravo. I love you so much. Stay tuned. I'll be on Saturdays with teachings and with empowerment. Monday to Friday, we do spotlight shows like today was Spotlight on Tiescha, Pastor Tiescha and her daughter Mariah. So stay tuned, guys, for more of Bravo with Sheila. Guys, don't move. I'll be right back.